Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the fuck it is?
Aries and Andy, Jew and the Jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut cocaine. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Fuck being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this shit. Before you was sucking on your mama's tit.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism,
Sexism.
Much love to my loyal bitch bag holders.
Rollers, clip loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Did you sneak up on the microphone?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. You sound like Frank from the Improv.
Aries, you need anything?
Hey.
Guys, hey.
Hey,
Listen, we are in motherfucking San Francisco.
I like when you made that other noise instead.
Yeah, no, that was a one-time deal. My body was going through something. And it's funny. We were in Portland last week, and now we're in San Francisco. And I said, we have a big West Coast swing. Other than Pittsburgh, we're gonna be in Pittsburgh next week. But
Pittsburgh and then DC.
Oh, it's Pittsburgh, then DC.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah, so we got a little East
I
Coast.
thought it was all West Coast.
No, and then we're back to the West Coast again.
Because we had Portland, we're in Frisco, then we got Sacramento, then we
Irvine,
and is it one more? But Arizona,
Tempe,
and we got San Antonio. We got Detroit. Yeah, I need you out there, anime. I wish I knew that shit perfectly. Anyway, so we were in Portland, and now we're in Frisco. And I think Portland more so than San Francisco, but a lot of high Andes out here too. Hi, Andy. My name's Barbara. You know, it's funny. Last night, let me tell y'all something, and you have to anticipate this because of where you are. And you know, I'm the king of I don't give a fuck. Maybe I'll start giving a fuck soon. At the show last night, and Cobbs is first of all. How do you feel about Cobbs?
I like the history of Cobbs, but this isn't the original Cobbs. This used to be a live music venue, so it's great. The setup would be great for live music. It has high ceilings. It goes all the way back.
Big stage.
It's not
comedy conducive.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Right.
Now, I just heard Dave Attell shot a special here, which is pretty amazing because I wouldn't.
But that feels like something Dave Attell would do in that room.
Well, because
in this city.
Well, because Dave has a little bit more. I'm looking for the right word. I want to say edge, but it's not edge that I'm looking for. It's he does things not in the normal or the standard way, and
right.
So good for him, you know. And I think that's great. Because he wants to do something different. I'm shooting from a place that hasn't been done before. I don't know. I didn't talk to Dave about it.
And to be honest with you, if I shot a comedy special, I would want to do it in a comedy club more than a theater. Yeah. Which of course my manager thinks is a horrible idea and hates. But I like that. I know Sarah Silverman has done that.
Yeah, small rooms. Dave did that in the belly room, which is the belly room is probably the smallest room for comedy.
Right. Oh shit. We're talking about comedy. Brandon from the UK, cocksucker. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, but you know, Dave doing it there made sense to me. I saw it. I would be intimidated because of the way the room is set up and the sound.
Right.
The laughter carries different in this room, but not necessarily even carries all the way. It dissipates quickly. Maybe I should be funnier. But I'm just saying the room does have obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked you because you know how it's like there are certain cities where you just go, listen, can you have a bad show? Technically, yeah. But this city, 9 times out of 10, you know what you're gonna get. DC Improv, Houston Improv, you're gonna crush. Ontario, it just is that. Then there are cities where you go 9 times out of 10, it just is not favorable to you.
It has
your
obstacles.
ego. It's obstacles. And then there are cities where you never know what you're going to get. It could be either or. this room feels like, and I'll lean more towards good than bad, but on any given show, you just don't know. Because, again, Portland, because of where we're at, San Francisco, very liberal and very protective of the, what do you call, like when there's something on the flag, it's the state, what do you call it? Like the state symbol. You know what I mean? Like the flag,
a silhouette?
No, but every city, every state has their flag that represents the state, but whatever that, like a mascot almost.
The logo? I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I'm not with you. I'm sorry.
You're not with me even when you're with me. But anyway, they're very protective of, their. I wish I could find the fucking right word. It's swimming in my head. They're very protective of the gays here in San Francisco. They protect them, which is to say, certain jokes that you may try and do, there's always going to be that one female Michelle Pfeiffer bitch, white chick who feels overprotective of whatever it is you're talking about. So last night, I did my transgender joke. And what was crazy was this Italian chick. First of all, let me put it in more context. This guy who was a little tipsy from Wisconsin, he yelled out in the show something about when I was talking about how I don't like middle of America, the pussy in middle of America, because it's not as beautiful as the East Coast or West Coast or certain parts of the country. And he just yelled out, Wisconsin. So I kept fucking with him about that. And then he wouldn't shut the fuck up. I could tell he wanted to find his place in my set to shine. And finally, this lady had enough, the Italian chick, and she just yelled at him, will you shut the fuck up? And the crowd went crazy. I loved her for it because I wanted to tell him to shut the fuck up because he was annoying. But then when I thought she was on my side, she said something to the extent of, yeah, I was going to bring my girlfriend to come see you, but she wanted to stay home because I texted her to let her know you're transphobic. So she turned on me, gave me a little attitude. And I said to her, and then this thing I'm trying to do with the Lizzo story, I say this thing where I talk about how women, I love you, I respect you, but when you guys get angry and it's time to engage in debate with a man, you guys take on the personality traits and the behavior of children. Because you don't deal in sense, logic, and rationale. You deal in anger and emotion. And she proved my point. Because, she was trying to act like, I'm not mad. But, that's that woman-coded shit where y'all say one thing, but your actions say something else. Clearly, she was mad. You could tell by the tone in her voice. You could tell by the way she was talking to me. And I wanted to say, I didn't say it in the way that I wanted to, but I wanted to say, I did allude to this. I said, sweetheart, you are so proving my point. Because right now, you're dealing in anger and emotion. You're not dealing in sense, logic, and rationale. Because if she were, she would have realized the first thing I say in the beginning of the joke is, as long as you're not physically hurting anybody or denying anybody their inalienable rights, you should be able to say how the fuck you feel in a country that allows you to do so. At any point, did I advocate violence? Did I advocate the denial of rights? No, what I'm advocating is the freedom of expression. And if transgender people are free to express themselves, then why are we not allowed to express ours? Is that not equality? Now, I should have said all that, but in the heat of the moment, I didn't. Long story short, I crushed the bitch, and I left to damn near a standing ovation. But I'm saying all that to say, this is one of those places where you anticipate you may get some backlash. And I'm here for it. Because I stand by what I say, and I thought it was crazy that she's mad at me for freedom of expression in a country that allows you to do so on a stage in which I'm allowed to do it.
It's not that it allows you to do so, it's your right to do so.
That too.
And if you don't use your right, then you're not serving anyone justice, because you must have dissenting opinions so that you can come up with a conversation. There has to be a give and a take so that conversations can even happen. What I will say about here, And I don't think it's so much with the gay agenda that you said that they're protecting the gays, as you put it.
But they're overly sensitive of it.
I think
a
it's
lot of,
but I think I think that they protect, and I'm going to go with it's. I think that the majority here, and that would be white America in the city, goes out of its way to overfeel and over empathize with the minority because they don't want anybody saying anything bad, even though the minority could be in the room and go, no, there was nothing wrong with that. It was being funny. It was clever. It was made to evoke thought. But what happens here and what I saw when you were on stage, and it was very funny to me, is to sit back and listen to the crowd, and they're laughing. Some are laughing and other people are going over it because I can hear them saying what you said out loud going, oh yeah, that is funny. They're they're not. Comedy to me has a guttural feeling with emotion and then a little bit of sense, logic, and brain. Now you can have your brain involved, but if you're pushing your guttural feelings down so that you can't laugh at something before you break it down and dissect it, the guttural feeling goes away, and you don't get that laughter the same way because you're too busy trying to basically take it and do a theory on what they're saying, and that's not going to work. There is something you can question yourself if you laugh at something and then later you feel it's inappropriate. Maybe you should check yourself to see what you're thinking, but that's not how it works. They literally dissect the joke, not the whole room, but good parts of the room will dissect the joke, and I can hear him. Oh, he just said that. And I heard him actually say, he said that, and they repeated it to each other. I was watching this, several tables do this, and then say, oh, that's funny. But the joke is already gone. By the time you got to the part where you allowed it to be funny, the laughter had dissipated. It's gone. You've already moved on. And I see that a lot in real cerebral rooms that are worried about the perception that they're going to carry if they laugh at something that they could later deem inappropriate.
I don't know why it shocks me, but it doesn't. I don't know why, but I guess because I'm a comic, I'm almost shocked, but not shocked. Like I'm almost shocked at the idea that when you go on stage, you could literally see people. And, there are times when you're on stage and I watch people's faces, and there are times when I'm on stage and I'm watching people's faces, that people are shocked when you say something that I guess they deem shocking. Because my idea is when you go, and as I say on stage, when you go to a comedy club, are you not mentally prepared for the worst? Are you not mentally prepared for anything? Like when you hear some of the things that comes out of people's mouths in terms of you, me, or any comic that may be deemed jarring, and I can't even believe the idea that is even a factor. Like, yo, you're at a show. Prepare for anything. Why are you shocked? Why does this make you go, oh my God? I don't get that. I don't get how our audience is not mentally prepared for anything.
Well, a lot of people, I think, go to a comedy show just thinking it's supposed to be funny and don't realize there's social implications in all comedy. In all comedy, there's a social implication. That there is. And they don't know who the comic they're going to go see is.
Or they do know who the comic is.
A lot of them don't, though, because they just go, oh, they're supposed to be funny, so I'll go see them. Or they know one thing that they've done and they were funny in that, so they went and saw them. The case in point of that is Bob Saget. People would go there because they saw him on...
But I get that because you're prepared to see who you think you see on TV.
Right. But they don't go and investigate further to see what kind of comedian they are and what they're, and if you have strong beliefs, they're going to interfere with laughter, then you better go make sure that the comic that you're going to see has agreeable beliefs, unless...
I like the belief thing. I like that.
Unless you want
your beliefs interfering with... I like that, yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to challenge yourself and your beliefs. And that's what comedy really... What I believe comedy should get to do is challenge your beliefs, challenge your thought process, and allow you to either agree, disagree with yourself, laugh at some of the things that you might have thought one way and go, man, that is a little silly, or maybe even laugh at it but firm it up, go, nah, but I'm right. There's no right or wrong way to ingest comedy, but for the comic, our goal is the laughter or the groan or something that allows you to feel that you've connected with the audience. And when these audiences, I want to use the right word, but socially, I'll use this word. Super socially conscious people tend to dissect the comedy before they enjoy the comedy.
That don't sound fun at all.
It doesn't.
That's like,
you can have a frog that you can enjoy, or you can dissect it and you can take out its organs and take a look at it and see how it works.
Right.
That frog is no fun anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't dissect it and enjoy it.
Like, dude, sometimes when you're on stage and I'm watching people and you say some of the things you say, and they literally keel over or grab their face and they mouth, oh my God. I'm sitting there like, oh, y'all not ready for me then. Like, if y'all going, oh my God. And this is I hope you don't take that.
No, I don't.
But I go, if these motherfuckers is bellying over going, oh my God, for what Andy just said, oh, I'm about to shove my dick all the way down their throat and check for strep. Because this, oh God. But then there's a part of me that loves it because I go, oh yeah, I can't wait to smash you motherfuckers in the face. Like last night at the second show, there was a group of about 9 young white boys. I mean, teenagers damn near. They were legal. They were 20, 21.
They were early college.
I mean, you could tell, right? These motherfuckers was pubescent. Like these niggas drink Pedialyte on the weekends. But they was young. It was a group of about 9 of them. The moment I saw where they were sitting, the light was hitting them just right. I knew if I called attention to them, the whole crowd would see it. And I had the perfect fucking joke in my head. And so much so, I was outside smoking my square. And I'm in my mind going, you gotta word this right. It's gotta flow off your tongue like a beautiful rhythm. Because if there's a hiccup, if there's a speed bump, it's gonna take away from the flow. So I'm piecing it together, and finally I got it. And what I was worried about was saying the word gang rape. Especially, again, I'm in San Francisco, very liberal, a lot of women, very sensitive, though that's a trigger word, rape. But now gang rape. You're doing a joke where you say gang rape. But I was like, man, based on how these motherfuckers look, it's either going to die or it's going to be it's going to tear the roof off. So I said, hey, man, to the group of young white boys, how old are you? What's your average ages? They yelled them out. I said, yeah, you motherfuckers look like a high school lacrosse team who's currently on trial for gang rape. When I tell you the fucking roof blew off the fucking... Everybody looked at them boys and went crazy. And then the follow-up was, yeah, I could just see one of y'all going, Trevor, Ethan, don't worry, my dad's going to get us out of this. Oh, my fucking God. I wish I could bottle them niggas up and take them with me on the road, because that's one of those, and I'm going to say it, I'm just me being a little vain. That was some Patrice shit. That was some Dave shit. That's one of them kapayals, nigga, that when you hit it like that and it get the reaction it get, and you're using a word like gang rape, nigga, if in that moment, because you birthed that in your head and it worked the way you wanted it to. It was the slam dunk alley-oop that won the motherfucking dunk contest. You feel like the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
But see, why that San Francisco or liberals didn't take place in that joke, that there really wasn't a worry in that to push back, is because you said you look like young white boys. Once you did that, you put them into the majority, and the majority you can make fun of in San Francisco. It's the minority that they get defensive about.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about gang rape.
Gang rape, yeah, but
the word gang rape. But you're making a joke about gang rape.
But you put it on white guys.
And that's why it fit them.
Yeah,
it fit them. So
that's where there's no disconnect from the room, and oh yeah, we'll go with that because white guys gang rape.
Right.
So that's the out for them. That's where they can just enjoy the joke and don't have to get all fucking weird. But if it would have been black men and you would have used the word gang rape in anything that could have been even close to as funny, that wouldn't have went over.
Right.
because now the empathy.
That almost produces the
Oh man, how could you say that?
right. Yeah.
So
God, it's fun when it works, man.
it's great, and you killed it. But the second part was better. I like the second part of the joke better.
I really wish you had seen the first part because even when I told it to you afterwards, because you didn't see the joke, you didn't really. But I'm telling you, if you'd have saw the first part, Andy, when I tell you it smashed.
I didn't see the kids until they came out, and once I saw the kids, that made it even.
When you saw them sitting where they were sitting,
happy.
They looked like they were in a courtroom on trial. It just all together. It fit perfectly.
Yeah,
perfectly.
But the part where you go, what's the saying?
Ethan, Trevor, don't worry, your dad's gonna get us out of this.
That goes that to me,
right?
Killed.
And then this other part that it's funny again when you constantly do this, it's funny what you learn and how you can piece things together. Because I thought when I first did it, and the only time I had done it was in Texas when we were in Arlington. I was like, damn, unless I'm somewhere in the deep South or unless I'm in Texas, that's, cowboy, redneck, this shit ain't gonna fly nowhere else. And then I tried it last night and it worked. But instead, what I did last night was I said, I know there's a redneck in here, which to me feels like you're forcing it. Because there ain't no rednecks in San Francisco unless there's a clear looking redneck dude sitting in the audience with a cowboy hat who's obviously visiting. So I went, you know what? Just say, it's funny. When I do this joke in Texas, there's always a redneck. Now you're not forcing it. You're telling the truth and it'll still get the reaction you want. Because I thought, unless I'm in Texas, it ain't gonna fly the same. But when I do the transgender thing and I go, when I was in Texas, I went, I know there's a redneck in here going, fucking hey, buddy, I like this fucking nigger. He says what I be thinking. And that killed in fucking Texas. But I did it last night and it killed too. But I went, I know there's a redneck in here. I'm going, why are you saying that when there's no redneck in here? Just say, yo, when I do this joke in Texas, and boom. So now you're telling the truth and you still can sell it honestly and get the same reaction. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I'm gonna say this to you. I notice when you're on stage, you'll go that joke you do where you say something, I'm killing that place. Nothing like what I'm doing in here. Sometimes there are a lot of times you are killing.
But when I'm killing it,
why do you say that?
Because when I'm killing it, and you don't pay attention to this, when I'm killing it, the whole audience gets quiet when I'm doing it because it's a long piece with no joke, and I go nothing like what's going on in here right now. That's the switch. That's the switch. Nothing.
I never made that connection
because I'm not saying right. I'm saying right now, nothing like what's happening.
You mean in that moment right there, while it's quiet?
Yeah, nothing like what's happening right now. I'm calling out that the room is dead silent. Nothing like what's happening.
I never made that connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm not killing, it's even better to go nothing like.
But then it makes sense. That to me feels organic. But when you are killing and then you say nothing like what I'm doing right now, I'm going, why are you saying that when you are killing?
Because nothing like what I'm doing in here right now.
In that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
Yeah, it does. Because I still get the laugh.
It don't make sense to me.
But I get the laugh.
Okay.
Because I know what I'm saying. But when it's not killing, when I'm like the second show, they weren't buying it. And so that's when I said nothing like what's going on.
That's like
here.
when I do the thing when I mess with the Asian chick and go, where you from? And if she tells me anywhere other than Vietnamese, if I say, what are you nationality wise? If she tells me anything other than Vietnamese, I go, you know what? It works better for the joke if you're Vietnamese. So fuck it, you're Vietnamese. Rah, kills. If she says Vietnamese, I go fucking perfect. And it still kills.
Yeah.
So either way, I got it covered. So but I'm just, I hear you. I just never made that connection. That never made sense to me. I'm going, yo, you are killing.
That's why they laugh, because I go nothing like what's going on in here right now.
Speaking of San Francisco, the homeless. This is one of the worst homeless situations in any major city I've ever seen. Once upon a time ago, when I was trying to write sketches, trying to create my own sketch comedy show, I had this character who was basically a bum, but it was a play off of those Dos Equis commercials, The Most Interesting Man in the World. and I had him as being the most interesting bum in the world. And of course, the tagline always ends with the Dos Equis guys. I don't always drink, but when I do, I make it a Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends. So here's what I want to do. Okay, let me give Steve, after I say, here's what I want to do. Now here's me giving you the note, but just remember at the end when I said, here's what I want to do, I'm going to pick it back up from there after I give you these notes, after I give you this note. The actual commercial, the music behind it, if you can find a way to snatch the music without the voiceover. And when I say the things that I'm about to say, the examples of the most interesting bum in the world, put that music behind me from the Dos Equis commercial. And then once you do it, of course, I'll listen to it before we put it out to make sure it's right. So I'm going to count me back in from the last thing I said when I go, here's what I want to do. All right. In 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to pretend to be the voiceover for this bum character. And I'm going to read some of these things that I wrote that's reminiscent of the Dos Equis guy. All right, here we go. He sets himself ablaze just to light his own cigarette. He shits his own pants in public because the people demand the fragrance. Whatever he doesn't eat, people wait for him to toss out so they can pick it up from the garbage. His cardboard box is the most expensive piece of real estate in Beverly Hills. People will work for him just to give him change. He's the most interesting bum in the world. I don't always drink. I'm lying like a motherfucker. Yeah, I do. Stay thirsty, niggas. What'd you think?
Yeah, I like it. I liked it. I think that I didn't get the garbage can one because people are now picking up his garbage instead of him eating out the garbage.
Yeah, they eat behind him.
Yeah, they're eating behind him. Yeah.
My favorite was she shits his own pants in public.
That made me laugh.
Because the people demand the fragrance.
I think, bums go. I would have gone hobo.
He's the most interesting hobo in the world.
I don't know why I like the word hobo so much. It's a good word. Like I wouldn't be offended being a hobo as I would if I was a bum.
Right.
I'd be an all right hobo.
Right. What do you call a gay homeless man? A hobo. Something else I wanted to do. I wish I had thought of this when we were in the moment. I got got a nice amount of emails from people talking about they love the dude wipe your ass clean your ass conversation.
Gobs.
Gob. So let me see if I could do this right. I was thinking to myself, because I kept going, gobba. You got to grab a gobba toilet paper. What if Tony Soprano had his own line of toilet tissue? It came out like an infomercial. How you doing? Tony Soprano, a.k.a. Tony. A lot of people know I'm in waste management, and they own the strip club, the Bada Bing. But now I got my own line of tissue called Tony's Gabadoo Toilet Paper. Whenever you do a number 2, make sure before you leave, you grab a gabba-gabba-doo for your doodle. That's
it. James Gandolfini probably wouldn't do that commercial, but it's a good commercial.
He wouldn't, but Tony would.
Tony would.
Yeah. Sure you do a number 2, you grab a gabba-gabba-doodle for your doodle. Just gotta wipe your ass. Don't get any shit on your fingers. Yeah.
And then he kicks it to Hesh, and Hesh tells him how they're saving money by per square piece.
Oh God, that would be great if I could do Hesh, because I could so see that. God, I wish I could fucking do that. Okay. So now this movie that you had me watch, Devotion, it was called. For some reason, I thought it was aviation.
Oh, wait, you didn't no NBA. You didn't drop any. How are we going to keep Brandon happy if you're not going to discuss any NBA?
Oh, it slipped my mind.
No NBA, man.
Slipped my mind.
Obviously, it is Miami and it's Denver.
Yes.
And you saw it game 1 where we saw part of it.
This is a wrap.
We saw part of it.
This is a wrap. I honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Nuggets sweep. They too much. Jokic is too much. Murray is too much. Caldwell, Pope, the whole team, they just too much. They're too much. This is over.
You don't think they're even going to win one game?
Nope. Miami? No.
You think Butler's going to go out swept?
Yes.
I think he has too much intensity to go out swept.
Yeah,
I think they figure out a way to get one.
Damn near lost by 20.
Yeah, Phoenix,
they were damn near blown out by the halftime.
Phoenix won games on them, and they got blown out in game
I mean,
two.
Sometimes certain people just they just in some weird way can do what no one else can. Phoenix is like a booger you can't reach. It just
But I think that I think Jim gets one game. I think they win at least one. It wasn't a great game for them, but they didn't play well. So, but was it they didn't play well, or is it they were tired because they just went on a series?
I think a little bit of everything. I think they had a 7-game series. I think the altitude in Denver probably fucked with them, and then again, Denver's just a far superior team.
It's a very tough team to pick apart. So
Yeah.
And I don't know how they match up. That's the problem.
Right.
There's no matchup right there.
I'm convinced Brandon from the UK wears thongs. What man doesn't enjoy sports talk or comedy? Comedy makes you feel good. A good laugh is like an orgasm for your throat. You know what I mean? It's who doesn't like to laugh? What dude doesn't like sports talk? Like, this nigga has to be a thong wearer.
Well, what's funny to me about it is not just the thong wearing thing.
Like, what would you complain about that as a man?
But it's our podcast. This is some of the things that we talk about. Every podcast has things that they lean into. And then you get mad because we lean into what we lean into.
That's fine. Listen, Bill Maher, I've never really seen his podcast, but he's a political guy. So it'd be crazy to think he's not going to discuss politics on some level every podcast.
Well, that's what Brandon from the UK would send him an email saying that he's sick of his podcast with them discussing all the politics.
And listen, politics is an acquired taste because it's a rough subject. People believe in what they believe, and really, unless you are into politics, it can be quite boring. Again, I love Real Time with Bill Maher because I envy the fact that he can do something so well that I can't do well. So I want to learn. So I watch to learn too. But I'm talking from a man, from a dude place. Sports, nigga. We got nuts. We got dicks. We warriors. We beat our chest. Sports. It's man shit. Comedy is great. What man is complaining about that?
That should be the end of our podcast when you say, instead of, I don't know what's on
we
the
got
end of
dicks and balls.
No, we got nuts.
We got nuts.
It should just be the end of it.
Jesus, Brandon, what the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? This nigga probably wear pajamas with the feet in them. What is wrong with you, nigga? Complaining about that.
What's wrong with pajamas with the feet in them?
As a grown man?
I think those would be cool just to wear out.
Wear out where?
Go to the store. Some footy pajamas.
You're begging to be robbed, nigga. Damn, you're a dude, yo. You breaking dude code. Man, yo, talking about comedy and sports. Fucking, you know what I mean? Fucking homo, nigga. What's wrong with you? And then on top of that, like I said, you still listen, so you still love us. Let's talk about this movie, man. Devotion, right?
Yeah. No, is that?
It's called Devotion. I thought it was, for some reason when I tried to look it up, I thought it was Aviation, but it's Devotion.
Okay. I sent you the title, but I don't even.
No, it's called Devotion.
Okay.
With my man, with Jonathan.
No,
Majors.
Avengement.
No. The one with Jonathan Majors.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that one. That's the one you watched?
That's what I watched.
Oh, okay. I know what you felt about it then. Yeah.
Oh, so you wanted me to watch that other one?
Yeah, that's okay.
But that's what you sent me first.
Yeah, I sent you that first, but then I said we should talk about this one. I don't care which one we talked about.
Oh shit! I didn't watch the other one.
Yeah, you got to see the other one. You guys, I really want to talk about this movie.
Oh fuck me, man!
It's a British movie called Avengement.
It's a British movie.
Yeah, check it out.
Oh shit!
Daniel, that's what I said. I even said that to you, and I don't know if you're gonna like it. But you
with
guys,
accents and shit.
Slightly. It's very understandable. It's a very easy movie. Good, but check it out. We're going to eventually talk about it.
There's probably a scene in there where they go, "Look, we can talk about anything you want, just not sports and comedy."
Actually,
if you fucking talk sports and comedy, I'm going to fucking shoot you in your ass.
That's basically what we said. No, Devotion. Yes, that is the other movie that I told you about.
Holy shit!
That's the one. That's the one with the U.S. Navy.
Majors.
Yeah, U.S. Navy fighters. Yeah. You didn't dive in.
I don't know how I felt. Who's the white boy in it? Who do it? The white boy Aja? Who I test me?
Glenn Powell, Tom Hunter. Yeah. But Glenn Powell's his real name.
Glenn Powell. He was also in Top Gun, right? Maverick.
Yeah.
He was the arrogant.
Yep.
Fighter pilot.
I thought it was a good. I really enjoyed it. Because it was a look at the first Navy fighter pilot that was black.
Dude, I so did not know you wanted me to watch the other movie.
The other movie's the man food one.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, you're gonna watch it. It'll be good. You can watch it. Watch it this week, and we can talk about it. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, Devotion. I didn't know how I felt about it. I didn't like the ending.
I love the ending.
I didn't like the ending. The nigga dies.
Yeah, but I love the ending that finally.
Finally, the nigga dies?
No.
Oh.
Finally, someone says to the white guy, it wasn't your job to save him. What he said was,
be there for him.
Be there for him.
And you were.
And you were. And that to me, it's these, and throughout the whole movie, he said, don't fight for me. Fight with me, but not don't in place. When he was having those fights, he was always because the white dude wants to be the savior and ride in and take care of the problem.
That's what I was saying about San Francisco and Portland. White women, they be Michelle Pfeiffer out here.
But that's what all these movies are usually. That there's always the white savior, and this one was the white dude couldn't save him, and he had to go through all this himself.
I'd rather the white dude saved him and the nigga lived.
But it's based on a true story, so I don't think
I don't know. But
yeah. But you didn't appreciate the story.
It's not. I don't know how to feel about this movie. I don't want to say I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. It just was like, yeah. And the motherfucker was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm an hour and 20 minutes in. I looked and thinking I had like 20 minutes left. That motherfucker said an hour. I was like, God damn.
He had a lot of story to tell.
Yeah. You think what's his name? Jonathan Majors, right?
Yeah.
You think he's done?
I don't know.
Because of the controversy?
Well, the people that it added to the controversy. There was more people that said that there was a problem, but I don't know. Like you said, if he could make money, I mean, if people still come out and see him and support him, then there's no, it doesn't end. I don't know. I still firmly believe that you have, it's not just hearsay. You need people to speak again. You need it to come out in that it's fact, not just conjecture or bitterness. And I'm not saying it's any of those things, but I think you're due. Everybody's owed their day in court.
Yeah.
So I hate to see a career get ended because he was caught on a monstrous role.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, I mean, look, you look at a guy like Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, who was the star of his movies, 42, Black Panther, Get On Up, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall. I love that one movie he did, that action. I don't know if it was really action, suspense, the one where they shut New York City down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Something Bridges. He was the star, so you paid your money. He's the reason for the box office receipts. Jonathan Majors seemed like he was a piece.
He's always in an ensemble.
Yeah, he's not the star. He's not the driving force. So,
But I think that's where he was going until this happened.
right. So, and the unfortunate part is now that it's happened, it's like a catch-22. He needs the opportunity to show that he can do it, but he can't get the opportunity because of the bullshit. So how does he show that he can do it if he's not going to be given the chance? So I hope it blows over because he's a talented motherfucker.
Well, everybody gets. I do believe everybody should get their day in court if that's what you're going to be accused of, and he has the right to.
I live in the court, nigga.
Yeah. Well, I
live in the court. I got a bed there. I got a pillow. Goose down. I sleep in the judge's chamber. Hooah. Oh, speaking of which, we got to touch that. But we talk about this right now.
Well, do you have any favorite scene in the movie though?
Again, this is what was so confusing. Usually in the course of a movie, there is a scene or there are moments where you go, yeah. It never really went there to me. It was so truthful that it was, I don't even use the word boring, but goddamn.
It was documentary-esque.
Yeah.
The way it does. You didn't like the parts where they're landing the plane though, and the one dude kills himself because he didn't
I was
listen.
going to ask you, did he kill himself on purpose?
No, he didn't kill himself, but they said you can't pull back on it because if you do, it slams all that power into the engine and it nosedives.
But it seemed like he purposely did.
No, he just pulled back on it because he wasn't listening. He got nervous because he thought he was going to come in.
Right.
And he had to raise and when he raised it, it did that, and that's when it spun out of control on him, and that's how he ended up killing himself. I don't even remember who that guy was in the movie. He was, it was the smaller part, but he. And then that's when he goes, but he didn't listen. And he goes, he didn't listen. And Jonathan Major's character says that because he's being very matter of fact, this is what you have to do. Him in the military, in the Navy, is being very literal because he has a purpose, and that's to be a pilot. But his purpose is just to succeed as a black man and to be able to do it. And he has to get everything right. He doesn't have margin for error. And that's kind of what the whole point of this is, that he doesn't have margin for error. Other people can have error. He has to get it right every single time. And that was kind of the point of the movie. But my favorite part is when they're going to go meet Elizabeth Taylor, and I believe it's in France.
And he spoke French?
Yeah. And at first they're like kicking him out. And then he just spoke French to the guy. And he's like,
He just spoke French? Okay.
And yeah, he spoke French, and they got everybody in. And I was like, yeah, you weren't expecting that, because not just the black aspect of it from the point of view of that time,
right,
but that he's a Navy guy and that he doesn't have that culture that he might have that, and he just came in there and just, and no one else could speak French. So it was, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't understand unless the Elizabeth Taylor thing is real, I didn't understand what the whole purpose of these scenes were. When you're saying it's a long movie, it seemed like that could have been taken out of that made it longer. I don't understand. I like the scene,
right?
But I don't understand the purpose of all these scenes. There was like little vignettes of the movies that were added to it.
I didn't get the self-mirrored racist hype up scene when he was in the mirror looking at himself.
Oh,
and he was saying racist shit to himself. And then he started tearing up. I didn't get that.
That was him. He says it to the other dude. He says,
no, he's by himself in the bathroom.
No. But when the other dude, he overhears him doing that.
Oh, right.
He says to him, "I repeat everything that's ever been said to me in that negative racist way. I repeat it over and over. It's because I want to defeat." He's defeating that. He's saying it because it's to him, but he wants to. That's what keeps him and gives him that edge to keep going and to continue and to beat it no matter what. Because he's going to beat those thoughts. He's going to beat all those thoughts that people put into his own head about himself.
Okay.
That's how he described it to the dude.
Right. I didn't even catch that because I remember when the dude walked in the locker room, he heard him talking to himself, but I didn't. Okay.
I said this when I told you about this movie. I think this was. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say the second part. I think this movie was written for white people, and then I'm going to say the second part, which is everybody who's listening that's not white is going to say all movies are written for white people. from Hollywood, is that I think there was conveying messages back to white people in the way why he was doing what he was doing first, and why he was doing it, to explain why, I'm just gonna I'll like the N word. Why do white people always say, well, why do you use the N word? It's
Right.
to defeat the negativeness in it, and that's what he was doing in those scenes, is defeating the negative that's always been put towards him. When he says to the guy, when the guy puts in his report what happened, and that went negatively on Jonathan Majors, but he goes, well, that's what happened, but everybody understands what happened because it's still he got done what needed to happen, even though he disobeyed the order. But as they said, it was complicated, and he disobeyed it, and it worked out. And he says, yeah, but that's going to go on my record. He goes, I'm not allowed to disobey an order. I'm not allowed to make a mistake. I have to do it better than everyone else. Those are some the key things that I think that it gets missed, that the white community doesn't understand about the black community when they're ascending to something that and what he says is, he has to do it better than everybody else. He has to do it right. He doesn't get a second opportunity. And I think that gets missed sometimes. And that's one of the things. And then going back to, I didn't tell you how to save him. It wasn't about a savior. It was about being there for someone. And when he yells to the guy, be in it with me, be in the fight with me. Don't, but come to where I'm at to understand what it is. Don't look at it from a different, from your white point of view. I think there's a lot of messaging that's in this movie. And that's why I thought it was interesting. I want to see if maybe either I'm overthinking it, or it was made for me to hear, and if you caught any of it. And since you didn't catch it, maybe it was just made for white people's ears to hear this shit. Because that's how I took all of it.
Right.
But for the amount of time that you invested into this movie, I have to agree with where you haven't said it, but you've let it be known. It was a long movie for what you got out of it.
Yeah, it felt like there were maybe one or two moments where I know I'm supposed to cry right here, but it's not. I'm supposed to.
No, there's something missing when the guy's plane crashes and they're trying to save him. You just can't have. I don't know if these guys as actors didn't form a connection or a bond, but when he's sitting outside the plane and just sitting with him, there's something missed, because you don't get the feeling. They didn't make you feel like it was freezing cold and the guy's standing right next to him and he's going to be there for him no matter what.
Yeah.
And they don't convey the amount of time that's taking place in the movie.
Well, that I think they did do, because it went from
day to night.
Yeah, and then what was weird was they said rescue is 30 minutes out, and then that was during the day. Clearly now it's night. Where the fuck was rescue? They finally came, but that was more than 30 minutes out.
Well, they didn't even want to go, but the one guy he had known Jonathan Majors' character, so he flies out, and they come out to rescue him, but with an axe and nothing else, basically.
Right.
And he dies at that moment when his friend came to help with the situation. And he dies right there, and he's still trying to get it. But even the scene where he tries to get him out with the axe, it went from 0 to like 100 in that moment.
Right.
And that's why I said they didn't convey the time, and there was no I didn't feel like the emotional connection between the two guys that, he's standing beside him the whole time. I mean, they try to set it up with this is how they set it up. Their connection. He never brings anybody to the house except for so-and-so.
Right.
So obviously there must be a bigger connection, because he never brings anybody over the house and met his wife. And I don't know. It just, the story, there's a good story there. I don't think that it came through on the film. And I don't think that I should feel off saying it, because it didn't do that great it didn't do great. I haven't heard everybody talking about this movie. So yeah, I think that a lot of people felt it might have been long and there was spaces to put better pieces in. But there's some good acting in it. I think that it tells a great story. But I was a little confused at times, as you were.
Right. Let me ask you, because when they were showing the scene where they're kind of in the foxhole, and the shots and shit are going off, you think you could, You think you could go to war? Like, I know you wouldn't want to, but if they said a draft and you were drafted, you think you could do that?
I
Like,
don't think you have a choice. You just do it.
well, yeah, I just,
I mean,
the moment I see my man get like in Private Ryan when they storm the beach, and it's very graphic. But when you standing next to me and I see a bullet go through your brains and shoot your brain matter all over my shirt, I'm out.
well, you either are going to like panic and you're going to be out, or
I'm panic,
and so then you're going to get shot yourself, or you're going to double down. You're going to go, no, I'm going to get them. I'm going to live, and so then you fight. I think that it's very confusing right now because usually when there is like an attack, like 9/11 when it happened here, there was a rally in this country where everybody was American and everybody was like, it's us against them and they're coming. And then now, what is it?
Back to normal.
No, it's past back to normal. Now, when you say, could you go to war? I think there's a lot of people out there who would go, no, we need to be taken over. I don't see that sense of like, would people come together?
Right.
Put the things that we're fighting about right now in this country, put that aside and go fight together? Or would we be having warring factions within our own military because of the arguments that we're not even really having? And this is why you have to have the argument, first of all. This is why it's important to have the conversation and not just be, well, if you don't agree with this 100%, then you're a horrible person, and you're basically whatever you want to call it, whatever you think is the most horrible person, you're that, and you're violent, right, and you're against us. If you don't have the conversation, what happens in a situation where you do have to be together and you are in a situation for your own good, but you can't get past it because you weren't able to have this conversation. You weren't able to agree to disagree. You weren't able to do any of that. All you can do is you're the bad person and the other side, you don't get the other side. We're not having these conversations. So to your point, I think that the only way that you can go to a war like that, you have to have some love of your country, some passion for wanting this to stay what it is. But I don't know if there's enough of that right now.
Right. Let me ask you, if you had to choose, if you were forced to go to war, if you had to choose a type of war to fight in, would you rather a Save It Private Ryan type war or a Braveheart type war where you just run towards the enemy and you got swords and axes?
Well, first of all, that war was acceptable because that's all they had was axes and swords and spears.
But I'm just saying, if
I had to go back in time, I mean, it depends who I get to be. Do I get to be the king? If I'm the king, I don't. Then
you're on the battlefield.
I think you want to. And I don't think it happens for everybody, but if you're going to get killed, I think it would be nice to get killed and be out. Those shots to the head that you say are that's right, gross, but at least you're there and then you're not there. These guys that get injured, they get shot, they get leg blown off, or that to me, and that happened in either one of those two kinds of wars. Right. They cut your leg off with a sword, or they blew your leg off with something. That to me, I want to go. I mean, if I'm going to get into it, I'm either I want to survive with all 10 toes, or I want to be out quick. Like I don't care if I make it to the last day of the war and they take me out quick, as long as it's quick. I'm not saying that. I don't want to sit there and bleed pieces of my body. I don't want to look down and see my organs coming out of my body.
Right.
And when they show that in these wars, I don't know if it's 100% realistic that you can survive when your body's open and you can see all your guts coming out. That to me, I think that first you're in pain, you're going into shock, you're looking at it, and you know you're not going to make it. And if you do make it, and then you see what if you saw your leg over to your right? That to me, now you have thoughts in your head that I don't need to have. I'd rather just be in and out at that moment.
And it's funny when you say it's quick, and most people would pick quick so they don't have to endure the pain. I still have to believe there's a level of pain before you go.
Yeah, but it's quick pain.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you had to pick your death and you had to either choose to jump off the Empire State Building, or you have to put your face literally on the what do you call it? On a tank's gun, like where it shoots out the tank. You have to put your face right in that hole.
Oh, I take right in the hole.
Over the building?
Yeah, because that's the whole way down. No matter how. The other one, you're scared because you don't have any control of it. You know it's going to happen.
Right.
But the other one, you're watching it happen.
Right, before you hit the ground.
Like the end of a movie.
Right.
That you didn't want to end.
Oh my God. I would imagine the pain of that tank, nigga.
Yeah, but you're not going to feel it.
You're going to feel something.
No, your head's going to be completely gone. You'll hear it. You might hear a noise. No, you won't even hear the noise. You'll just be gone before it. That thing's going to move out of there before you even hear it. You'll be dead. You'll fall. You'll be on the ground before you. No, I don't think you get to know that one. What would you do? Jump or take the bullet to the face?
Nah, you're right. The tank. Because that whole way down, nigga. Because in your mind, you'd be thinking to yourself, can I survive this? Is there a way to survive this?
No. You know what happens if you drop a penny off the Empire State Building and hits a person, right?
It goes in their head, right?
It goes through them.
Really?
Yeah, it builds up so much speed and momentum, and it's going to kill someone if it hits them.
Wow.
So what are you going to? The only way I'd throw myself off a building if I could hit some people that I wanted to kill, if I wanted to take them out.
You think it's possible if somebody jumped off a building and then the person on the ground tried to catch you, and they actually you caught you kind of?
You'd rip your arms off.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's no survival.
Dude, would you ever, those squirrel suits where they put those, the people jump and they're wearing basically, it looks like they're wearing like a big blanket.
Like bubble wrap?
No, it's a suit where it has like.
Right.
And they can fly?
Yeah.
Could you ever do that? If someone told you it's completely safe.
That's one of those things I would like to do.
You would like to try that?
I would like to try that, but I'd be too scared something will fuck up. But I would like to try that.
I would never do that.
Really?
Never. I saw this one dude. He was doing it. It was on this some documentary thing that they were doing on this flying. And the guy goes too low. They had balloons. So the guys were going to like knock the balloons out. They had them, right, on strings. So they're 10 feet up, 5 feet. The dude comes in a little off and his toe, as he's going there, hits the ground or like a rock that was on the ground.
Broke his shit.
Shattered his whole foot.
Right.
Nah, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Dude, something about being in the sky I like. That's fascinating to me.
I have no desire. And that's one of my biggest gripes about doing comedy is flying. I don't have any business up there.
You would never parachute? You never?
I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to do it. I really did. I don't think that I would do it now.
I told you I did it once. You wouldn't. If I said, Andy, let me do it one more time, you wouldn't want to for your birthday? Like,
I don't know. I don't think so.
Really?
I just don't. I don't get the.
It's a rush.
I'm sure it's a rush, but what the purpose of it is the purpose of jumping out of it is for the chute to open for you to land on the ground.
Yes.
So here, I could bypass the whole going up in the air and jumping out of the plane and just staying on the fucking ground.
But then where's the thrill? You're going for that thrill of being in the air 10,000 feet.
I don't have that thrill.
Okay.
I'll live without that thrill. I'll get a different thrill. How about this? Here. I'll give you $1 million and you can jump out of the plane. You keep the $1 million and you land, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's good. Or Gemma, you can spend a night with Gemma.
And no money.
No money. No $1 million. You just get to fuck Gemma.
Damn. I gotta take the $1 million, man.
Oh, and you get to jump out of the plane, and Gemma's going to be on the ground when you land, naked, but she's just going to get in a limo and drive away.
But I got the $1 million.
You got the $1 million, and you got to do it. Jump out of the plane.
I gotta jump out the plane with the $1 million. I gotta hold the $1 million. So maybe if she sees me with the money as I'm getting ready to land.
Gemma, I got $1 million.
Oh man. Oh. Al Pacino. This motherfucker is how old is he?
He's
80.
I can look it up.
I got it right here. He's 80.
Yeah.
This motherfucker's having a baby.
Yeah.
Semen-wise, how many more hoo-has does he have in him?
Enough?
Hoo-ha. I'm coming. Hoo-ha.
Do you think his oohas have slowed down? Does it go from how do you
Hoo-ha.
to
Hoo-ha. Hoo-ha. Yeah, listen, man, you know what's crazy? The baby, he'll be dead by the time that child is 10, maybe. Certainly ain't gonna make it 20. The child ain't gonna be 20 and Al's still alive. Is that not selfish? Why would you do that to your kid? You are a great, 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 great grandfather having a baby.
Man, I have my 2 and I was done. I'm not having any more kids. So I can't, it doesn't make any sense to me. And the reason I think it's selfish is I feel bad having kids in the world that I'm leaving them in. Even though that I'm here with them, I've struggled with them, and I feel bad that this world that I'm leaving them in. And honestly, and I've said it, had I known what the world was going to look like at this age, I don't know that I would have kids and leave them to this. So that's the selfish part about it. That you know what the world looks like, but does he know what the world looks like? That's the other question. Does Al Pacino know what this world looks like?
Al Pacino's sons or daughter, I don't know if he's having a boy or girl, but their world is going to look wonderful, given who their father is and what he has.
Yeah.
Their world,
but they still have to live in this world.
Oh, I'd rather live in Al Pacino's world as his son or daughter than living in this world.
But that's the difference. He doesn't live in the same world that we live in. So I guess I can't answer that question for him. Is it selfish? Well, if you're going to set up someone to live great and have this legacy and be everything that they can be, maybe it's not selfish.
You know, I got to ask you this. And this to me, I mean, listen, kudos to her. She got the bag. But if I'm Al Pacino and I'm being honest with myself, you gotta go. This bitch don't really love me for me. She's for the bag, nigga. His girlfriend is like, what?
29 or 30.
30. There's no way this woman is with him because she really loves this 80-year-old man. She is with him because he's Al Pacino and he's fucking loaded. And the moment he dies, she's well taken care of. And she's well taken care of anyway because of the kid. This is a money grab. No, come on.
No, women could be attracted to him for being Al Pacino, though. She could be attracted to the whole Al Pacino that whole energy that's Al Pacino. She could fall in love with that. I'm not saying that she did. I don't know her. I don't hang out with her. But I think, listen, it's not like when that, what's that model?
Anna Nicole Smith
married the 90-something. Yeah. That guy was in a wheelchair and barely there. So right. I think there's a little bit difference there. She's 30. He's 80. Yeah, it's 50 years. But could she be mesmerized by this Al Pacino himself and who he is? And yeah, all the other extras are nice, but you can get young guys with with money. It has something to do it has something to do with who he is, man.
That's so hard to believe. And listen, when you're Al Pacino and you're 80 and you're on let's be honest, you closer to the upper room than you were, 30 years ago. Maybe you just don't give a fuck. I got some young pussy. She make me feel good physically and whatever else, and I'm about to go. Who gives a fuck? But come on, man. Really?
I think that's just, I don't know how much that has. I honestly, obviously you feel like it makes him feel good. I'm sure that he feels great when he's around everybody likes being around energy. And so a younger woman, exciting. I'm sure it's exciting for him. I'm sure all of everything that you're saying is true, but there has to be something there. Do you think that after all these years that you're just going to go, well, yeah, I'll just give it all up just for some young.
Yeah,
come on.
That just, 80-year-old nuts, nigga.
Dude, how much difference do you think 80-year-old nuts look than
20-year-old nuts?
No, then I'm going to say 40-year-old nuts.
Oh, no, there's got to be a difference.
I'm sure they hang lower, but I don't think that it's going to be this whole out of the world difference.
Damn.
Nuts don't look good in the first place.
Well, I'm not going to co-sign that.
You think nuts? You think? Wait, this is a scary conversation for me to have. You think nuts look what women have compared to what we have? You think nuts look good?
Again, I'm not going to co-sign that.
Nuts do not. Nuts, the raggedy bag that we're dragging behind us.
That's a question for the women. Ladies, yeah. Alexa Flowers, Shamor, A.B., Deidre Ann Johnson, Cece. How do y'all feel about nuts? Are nuts attractive?
And do you like them salty or unsalted?
That's a legit question.
It is a legit question.
That is a legit question. Because I know there's some freaky broads out there that probably like a little with their nuts. Is it really? Is it attractive, ladies? Do y'all like that shit?
I know, I just can't imagine there's people going, damn, I never heard any women, and I know maybe this is just what, like when men have their deep conversations quiet, right. Maybe, but I never heard of a group of women going around,
talking about a nigga's nuts.
You know what kind of nuts I like? Like this, let me tell you what kind of nuts I like. Does he have them good nuts?
Listen, honestly, I think sexual organs are ugly, are unattractive on both people. I don't think, Jesus Christ. Like the vagina is not pretty.
He can be very pretty.
No, not to me. Breasts are beautiful. Breasts and ass are beautiful. Nice ass, nice pair of tits are gorgeous to look at. But the vagina itself?
There's some good looking vagina out there.
No.
Nah, there is. Because there's some ugly vagina out there too.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes, man, we just into the abyss of nothingness. All right, I think that's it. You want to give out some dates?
Oh, yeah. I got the new one here from...
Where's my Viagra? I'm in the mood.
Yeah, you didn't even bring up that your other dude.
Bobby De Niro.
Yeah,
Both of us have a kid.
He has a young girl now, too.
Jesus Christ. We get older and the pussy gets younger. Hoo-ha. I told my girl I'm in the mood to fuck. Whoa, look at my dick. It's hard. It's long. It's ready to go.
What's the name of your agency now?
My agency?
Yeah. You don't have to put this on the podcast. Cut this out of the podcast.
My actual talent agency?
Yeah.
State of the art. Why?
That's just things.
Why?
Because that's what the state of the art is, where the routing is. And I was going to go off the new routing to make sure I didn't have anything messed up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, do you want that cut out?
I'm on my nuts tour. I'm gonna go on a tour with my nuts. See my nuts in Denver, Philly, Chicago, San Antonio.
I think that would be the Salted Nuts tour.
The Salted Nuts tour.
Guys, you're listening to this. You're listening to this a little while later, but we were in San Francisco. When you're listening to this, oh man, we're not even going to be in Pittsburgh. We're going to be in DC. Because this is going to be a couple weeks. This is three weeks out.
Is it?
Yeah, we got 2 weeks of Dear Mama.
No, Dear Mama episode part 2 is coming up this Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
And then this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
After that.
Yes, but we're in Cobb's though this Wednesday. We were in Cobb's on part 1.
Right.
And so part 2 is going to be next week.
Right.
So we're in DC.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So as you heard us reason our way through where we're going to be. If you didn't come see us in Pittsburgh, we're gone. But we're going to be at DC Comedy Loft June 15th through the 18th. And that's DC Comedy Loft, our first time at DC Comedy Loft. Please come on and say hello. Back in Arizona, Aries and I will be at the Tempe Improv June 23rd through the 25th. And then we're going to be in Irvine Improv July 6th through the 9th. July 6th through the 9th at the Irvine Improv, followed by Punchline, Sacramento, California, July 13th through the 15th. And then
Punchline.
That is.
You know who's a fan of that club?
And then,
Do you know Andy?
yes, I do. Right hook.
Ronald Williams. He loves the punchline.
July 20th to the 23rd, we're going to leave California for a minute and we're going to go out to the Houston Improv. And that's July 20th to the 23rd. And then we're back in California, August 3rd through the 5th at Mike Drop in San Diego, California. Our boy Casey's club.
Fucking from Bastion, kid. Fucking Bastion.
So excited. Looking forward to that.
Listen, folks, some days you feel like you're in the zone, and some days you feel like, you know, you only score 6 points. This felt like a 6-pointer.
This was a Wizards game?
Wizards game. You mean Michael Jordan Wizards?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't ever, ever, ever disrespect the God.
You played a Wizard-esque game today.
He still averaged 20 points.
To say it was a bad podcast, I just said it wasn't.
Okay. It wasn't the Bulls.
It wasn't the Bulls.
All right. Fuck.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Guys, keep your nuts salty.
Or unsalted. However you like. Just make sure they smell good. Because if a girl puts your nuts in her mouth and they don't smell good, she's going to go, oh boy.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, it was hosted by Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.